Now I'd like to invite 3 generations of First Nations mob to the stage to hand over a message stick to the next hosts of the Human Rights Conference, Washington, DC. Please welcome Aunty Sue Pinckham, Ty Madden and Felix May to the stage.
Wuyagiba, everybody. I'm really happy to see all the faces here now. I want to acknowledge the country that we're all on here today, Gadigal country, the country that people are linked in from, and just acknowledge that it's wonderful that we've got through this Human Rights Conference and that we have the opportunity to share the message stick and make the message stick be something really special through future WorldPrides, future human rights conferences, to ensure that the First Nations are included, embedded, and voices are continued for the future. For Australian First Nations people, we give our message sticks to make sure that the journey that we travel is done with the story for this message stick you'll hear in a second, but it's just such a pleasure that we can actually start this journey, and that it will be something that will be, I hope, a highlight for every future conference that happens, but something that will actually give a little bit of pleasure and a smile every time it's looked at, and something that can be a proud memory of something that is really a hard conference to go to, with the issues being so difficult. But for me, knowing that our message stick is a clear message that First Nations people journey is part of this and will continue to be, and that we are now included forever. Now I'm going to hand over to Felix.
Hi, my name's Felix. I am a proud trans non-binary fella from Gubbi country up in Queensland, and I've had the absolute honour of designing the message stick. When Aunty Sue came to me with this concept when I first started with WorldPride, I wasn't going to let it go. I think it's so beautiful. So the design itself with the progress flag is on either end. It is a group of people sitting, having a yarn, with journey lines that meet in the middle at a gathering space, which is what we want to do for all future World Prides for First Nations people globally, is to come together to start acknowledging the lands of which we are all on for First Nations people globally. Aunty Sue actually wrote the message, so I'm going to read it out because you can't read the plaque there. So. We pass this message stick to you to continue the recognised First Nations place in the World Pride globally. Tradition carries our voices across the planet through sharing our journey and being stronger together. I also just would like to acknowledge that when creating this as well, I ensured that both the message stick, which is created by some also queer mob over in Western Australia, and the case as well is also made by a queer mob here on Gadigal land. So every part of this message stick is made by both parts of the community that makes us us. Thank you.
Thank you, Aunty Sue and Ashley. A lot of work and dedication and great ideas were put into this message stick, and I just want to congratulate you. Thank you very much. I want to acknowledge the First Nations Advisory Committee, the journey that we had here in Sydney WorldPride, and especially to the team at Sydney WorldPride, all the effort and support that you've given us, and Mardi Gras Sydney. It was an amazing showcase of events, and it gave us the opportunity to show the world our First Nations culture. As a proud Gadigal man, I want to acknowledge all the First Nations people here, from all over the world. This is an absolute honour to be here, and I'm happy, delighted, proud and so excited to pass this message stick on to our American First Nations people. We wish you the best for Washington DC 2025 WorldPride. Be proud, amplify, voice your people's voice, and now it's time to show the world your culture. May you all enjoy your journey into the 2025. May we keep this message stick legacy to continue to pass on to all future First Nations. Wishing you all the best and success, and we wish you safe travels. And it's good to see there's a few people still here today. If we don't get an opportunity, we wish you farewell for now and safe travels home. But before I finish, I would actually like to introduce Ashley, and he can introduce the team. Thank you.
Good afternoon and thank you. Thank you, Aunty Sue, Felix, and Ty, for all of the amazing work that went into this. It's one thing to see it from a different place, and it's another thing to see it in person, and so it's truly amazing. And I would be remiss to not also include our Capital Pride team, which most of you all know these two lovely young ladies here with me, Tiffany Royster, as I said, and Natalie Thompson, our InterPride co-president. Good afternoon to our InterPride family and colleagues. It's such an honor to be here with everyone today, especially with the Sydney WorldPride team, who has so generously hosted us with open arms. I would like to acknowledge and thank the Gadigal of the Eora Nation as the traditional custodians of this land on which we gather today for allowing us to all be here. Our team pays our respects to the elders, both past and present. I also extend that respect to all Aboriginal, Torres, Strait, Islander peoples here with us today. I apologize for my mistake. I am, as everyone has already been told, I am Ashley Smith, he, him, board president of the Capital Pride Alliance, and we truly are looking forward to hosting you all in Washington, D.C. for WorldPride 2025. Today, as a representative of the members of our Capital Pride family, I am honored to be receiving the message stick. The message stick encapsulates the elements of the First Nations people and the LGBTQIA+ family. We are humbled to be a part of this new WorldPride tradition, and we hope this tradition will be carried on forever. When you join us in Washington, D.C. in 2025, we will be celebrating and recognizing the many indigenous tribes native to our land. We are also known as both the center of African American culture and the civil rights movement. While we celebrate pride across the world, we can never forget the ancestors of our lands and the people who have built the communities we call home today. Over the last few days, we have shared stories. We've shared many tears, heard various accounts of the atrocities members of our LGBTQIA+ family have faced and are still facing. Please continue to share these stories and experiences as we have much work ahead of us for equal human rights across the world. Thank you all for your hospitality while we have been here in Sydney. We welcome you all with open arms as we celebrate WorldPride and 50 years of pride in Washington, D.C. in 2025. So we look forward to seeing you there.
drop it.